So good morning. The time is 12:30 p.m. here in the UK, London, England. Welcome to everybody who's joined our blab just now. My co-host is the content director of Eventbrite for the UK. So Mark Walker is in charge of briefing out blogs and all sorts of other interesting information for people to contribute to your blog. And you have how many thousands of subscribers and readers who read your blog on a weekly basis?
Yeah, well, we have tens of thousands of readers of the Eventbrite UK blog, so it's grown phenomenally over the last 18 months or so. And we think it's a really valuable resource for event professionals and those who are considering running their own event. And it seems to have been welcomed by the community, which is great.
Brilliant, yes, because you often do. I mean, I contribute also to the Eventbrite blog, which is why I know Mark. And, Mark will also give you some really interesting tips. So I'll have to ask you those in a minute about, how to make a blog post interesting and eye-catching and all the rest of it. But what I was going to firstly ask you, I mean, I've also run events and also advertise them via Eventbrite. So I just want to pick your brains a bit. Just also, people who are listening in now, has anybody used Eventbrite? It would be good to know whether anybody's had an experience of it, or whether you're just interested, you've popped in because you're interested either in PR, or whether you're interested, Fabry says he has used it, or whether you're actually interested in Eventbrite, PR. What is it that you guys want to listen to today? Okay, that's my reminder saying I've got to press. Okay, so you did it for a family history event. Okay, that's interesting. Good. Okay, and I ran a workshop, and I think also social media. SEO juice. I call it SEO juice. When you put your event out in Eventbrite, it's actually good for you to become more visible.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, we have a very, very high Google page rank and authority at Eventbrite. So all the events on the platform kind of share and enjoy in that, as you call it, SEO juice. So I think, I think it's great if you want to be visible in search engines to have your event on the Eventbrite platform. It certainly helps.
Okay, good. And then also, I think what you told me the other day is I've said this yesterday on my blab yesterday, is actually I could have advertised this very blab, couldn't I, on Eventbrite? You
could, absolutely. You can, yeah. I mean, you can use it as a kind of way to register interest or manage membership or manage attendance to just about anything. So obviously we're very well known for real life physical events, but it can absolutely be used for blabs or webinars or all sorts of digital online events as well.
Really? Well, maybe, I don't know, you won't be able to search for one now, but wouldn't it be interesting? You couldn't do something like a blog, you couldn't advertise that on Eventbrite, could you? I suppose if it's a limited time, if you want to, I don't know, just thinking outside of the box, there are other ways that you could have used Eventbrite for your SEO juice.
Yeah, I've never really thought of it in that way. I mean, people use it in a huge number of different ways. It's a very kind of, I guess it's a very flexible system. So, some people use it traditionally, some people use it for all kinds of different ways. I've never heard of someone using it to promote a blog post, but it'd be interesting to see what would happen.
Let's put the challenge out there. Anybody listening who's got a blog post, maybe when it's time sensitive, I don't know, just thinking of ways how you can do that as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I like the off the wall thinking, definitely.
Yeah, great. Now I do have a question from somebody who wants to know a specific thing. Do you know of any tips or tricks for getting events more visible in Eventbrite searches? Because he'd love to hear them. Now that is from David Miles, who runs Made Simple Group.
Yeah, so obviously this is a question that we kind of get asked a lot because it means a great deal to be appearing towards the top of the Eventbrite search. And actually we find that for a number of events now, we make up, if not the majority of their attendees, then 30-40%, significant amounts of ticket sales come through being discovered on Eventbrite rather than the event organizer's own promotional efforts. So it is an important element. Now,
what I don't understand is what is Eventbrite physically or algorithmically doing in order to push that out?
Yeah, so obviously I can't kind of reveal and go into all the secrets under the hood. That kind of algorithm is proprietary. What I can say is just, so this is maybe not the exact secret sauce you're looking for, but just make sure when you're posting your event or you're creating your event on Eventbrite to be as clear and descriptive as possible. So, try not to give your event name something too, you don't want it to be too weird and out there. You want it to be as descriptive as possible, because if people are searching for your event, they're going to be searching for those search terms that you want to rank for, right? So it's just like in Google. So I'm maybe not explaining myself very clearly, but if your event's got a brand name and it's not very clear what that event is about, make sure you also include some descriptive text in that event title as well, and then also in your event description, and then also include things like videos, photos, etc. within your event description as well. So
hey, Robert,
I think the key is to be descriptive, right? Just make sure your event description and title has the kinds of keywords and phrases that your potential attendees would be searching for, and you're so much more likely to rank then in the search.
Okay, so these attendees, where are they searching? Let's just say hypothetically, are they searching on Google for an event? So if I'm looking for an event all around PR, okay, so these people, would they be looking at Eventbrite? Would they have popped immediately to Eventbrite, or would they just be searching Google events in London on PR?
So it's both. I mean, obviously, Google's a brilliant search engine for absolutely everything. So if you've got attendees searching Google as their kind of first point of call, then there's a good chance that, again, if you've got the right description within your event, it will be found on Google. But also, millions of people are using Eventbrite to discover experiences and events, directly without going through Google. And so they might be searching for it directly through Eventbrite. But the same principle applies as it does in Google, which is to make sure that you've got your end user or your attendee in mind, and then write about your event in a way that makes it easy for them to discover. So just keep it simple, keep it descriptive, and you're going to stand the right chance of, a better chance of being found in both the Eventbrite and the Google search engines.
Okay. Cherie's just asked a question. I'm just going to quickly ask you before that. So people actually have Eventbrite. I would imagine these are very savvy Eventbrite users. So for event professionals, because I wouldn't naturally go. Well, I will do, because I'm one of your brand ambassadors and I'm a raving fan about it. No, but, so do people literally go to event? I suppose, yes, if you're looking for event, obviously that's a silly question, as I'm answering my own question. You're going to go straight into Eventbrite. Well, no, or you're going to go to Google. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think we have very good brand awareness. Most people come to Eventbrite and start using Eventbrite as an organizer because they've had the experience as an attendee as well. So, it's a beautiful model in that sense. So the more organizers and the more events that are on the platform, the more likely people are to discover it as an attendee, and they have a great experience. They see how simple and easy it is to use. And so if they come around to thinking, well, we'd like to run an event, of course, Eventbrite's top of mind. So it becomes this lovely virtuous circle. And that's really how the business has grown over the last 10 years. It's a lot of word of mouth. Yeah. And it's a lot of discovering it as an attendee first, and then becoming an event organizer.
And it's a very recognisable symbol, the brand you've got. So I can actually add that, because I teach people the 7 secrets on how to get into the press. And I reckon I need to add that as one of my weapons in the PR toolkit.
To make a very recognisable kind of symbol and logo.
No, not that. No, but to use the platform of Eventbrite in order to promote. I think
absolutely.
It's great. People who are going to be having events, but we said we could do webinar promotions. That's excellent. So Sherry Dupont has asked, Dupont, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, Sherry, pardon about that. What is your biggest competitor, and how is Eventbrite better for me to use to help promote and add attendees? Sherry, do you mind just telling us a bit about what you do? I mean, Mark will tell us about who his biggest competitor is. What's kind of line of business you're in, Sherry? And what we'll do, I can even answer that question by clicking on her profile.
Okay.
So marketer, membership triangle AMA. So maybe she's going to answer in a minute about that. But who's your biggest competitor, Mark?
So, I mean, the event space and the ticketing space in particular is very competitive. There's a lot of people that out there that do that. We genuinely try not to focus on what the competition are doing, because that way madness lies. I think we just try and focus on doing what we do and do it really, really well. So we really don't try and think of competition, but we do try and think about what we're going to do to make us the best possible solution for event organizers to use us and to help promote their events. So to answer Cherie's question, what makes us better than other platforms or other ticketing solution providers out there? I think one of the things that I hear most when I go to events and people have used us is just the simplicity of the platform. It's so easy to get started. We are actually, we've evolved a lot over the years, but Eventbrite originally came to be in order to help out all those event organizers who didn't have a solution for technologically registering attendees, right? So there used to be just the really big platforms, and you had to have massive stadium style events to have that kind of technology. And we wanted to democratize that and give that technology to everyone and anyone, no matter what size of event that they had. And so to do that, we had to make it very simple, right? It had to be usable by non-event professionals, people who hadn't used this kind of thing before.
It's like WordPress for events.
It's like a WordPress for events, exactly. It's really, really, really easy and simple to use and get started with. And obviously over those years, it's become more and more robust, and we've had more and more features. But I think at its heart, we've done a really great job of keeping it very, very simple. So for me, that's probably the number one thing. The second thing is, we integrate with the major social platforms. So things like Facebook and Twitter, it's very, very easy to publish your event and get the event out there. I think one of the key things as well to the success of Eventbrite and the events on Eventbrite is we have a really great suite of analytics tools in the back end. So we make it really easy for event organizers to see what promotional campaigns are working for them and which are driving the most ticket sales or the most views to their event page. And so it makes it very easy for them to make decisions around what's working and where to spend their money or where to spend their time. So, I think we put a lot of power into the hands of event organizers to do their own promotion, but do it really well and do it smart. And then I guess I should finish up by mentioning again the SEO side of things. We do rank very well for most events in Google. So, if you want to be found when people are searching Google, and however many billions of Google searches there are each week and each month, you obviously want to be found in Google. It can absolutely help to be on our platform.
I'll tell you a fifth point then.
Yeah.
I have ran several events and used Eventbrite, and that was your 24/7 help desk.
Yes, absolutely.
And Cherry has mentioned Ticketmaster. That was also on my mind as well, because they might be your competitors. But I tell you one thing: to have a really friendly person, a techie help person, who's based in the UK, or US, actually, doesn't really matter. Wherever they are, they were so helpful when I was trying to. Or I had some problem. I can't remember what the issue was, but to have somebody to help you there is incredible. Yeah,
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because our customer service team are just amazing. They help me out all the time with the platform if I need any help. And they answer everyone's queries so quickly and so competently and professionally. They really are a selling point. Knowing that there's a person who's an expert on the platform just at the other end of the phone at any time of day, as you said. In I believe it's 7 different languages we cover as well. Yeah. That's such a boost.
Brilliant. Well, that's great. Any other hints and tips about how to, have a brilliant event via Eventbrite?
There's a lot, right? We've written over a million words on the Eventbrite blog since I started. So there's a lot of tips in there. So let's try and pick out just a couple of simple ones. So one of them would be to make sure that you tell people about your event, the people that you already know. That sounds a bit redundant, but actually you'd be surprised how many people launch an event and forget to tell their friends and their immediate network about it. So they start doing kind of digital marketing on Twitter and Facebook and trying to reach people that they don't know, when actually they've got a really strong connections around them that they could be utilizing to help spread the word of their event. And sometimes that is through social, sometimes it's through a phone call. A lot of the time it's through email. So consider who you could email and tell about your event once you've got it live. And I think that's a crucial step that a lot of people miss. And then, of course, plan. Live events, things will always go wrong. So the best event organizers tend to have a plan B, a plan C, a plan D.
Give us an example then of an event disaster.
Oh man, I mean, so
People being sick when they want to come or something, you know, is that what it is? Is that the biggest event?
There's a ton. So there's weather disasters. So you could have an outside event that it suddenly buckets down with rain, and you've got no indoor option, or there's no marquee in which to take your guests inside. You could have a keynote speaker that pulls out on you at the last minute, and there's no plan B or someone to back up. You could, I know one. So we did a blog post on this where we asked 12 event professionals who are all very, very experienced, veteran organisers, what their 12 event disasters were, and there's just such a range from uninvited guests.
Stage fright, no.
Stage fright, uninvited guests wandering in and disturbing the other guests. What else? Someone even had the wrong venue, so they thought they'd confirmed one venue and told everyone to go there, but it was another venue the other side of London.
Oops.
It's crazy. There's all sorts of things that can go wrong, so it's always good to plan and have contingencies, I think. And then I think one of the big things is making sure that you build up a buzz around your event, right? So this is, we've had you write about this in different capacities, and the 7 steps to building buzz around your event. So I think it'd probably be worth me pausing here and asking you to relate some of those key steps to trying to build a buzz around your event and have people talking about it.
Yeah, so what I would recommend people do is when they're running an event, because I can't remember now, correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't done it for quite a few months now, is it Eventbrite and then you just have hundreds of numbers afterwards regarding your event? Your URL? So
you get given a URL when you set up your event that has, again, the descriptive text in it, as well as a sort of string of numbers, or you can also create a custom URL.
Oh, you can, because I was going to say, if you can't create, I didn't realise actually you could do that on Eventbrite, or I'd say pop over to bit.ly to do your custom, but you can actually do it under the roof of Eventbrite now. You
can indeed, and you can also create multiple custom URLs that you can hand out to event partners, media partners, your speakers, anyone that you'd like to promote the event, and you can see how effective they've been in promoting your event. So that custom URL will track the ticket sales and the page views for your event directly related to that link.
And then is that also almost like an affiliate link? So you could, thank them and all the rest of it for that, or is it just literally so you can see their performance?
We have both. So you can do it just so you can see their performance, or you can also create an affiliate link, and you can set up your affiliate arrangements there, so you can pay them out a fee if they've, whatever you agree on with them.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. So Cherie's got another question. Can you get into the yes? Could you go a bit more into depth about the analytics? She says this is really nice because I didn't know that you had that on the back end using it as an attendee. Is this feature at an extra fee?
Yeah, so it's not an extra fee whatsoever. There are no extra fees with Eventbrite, right? That's one of the key things to know about the platform as well. It's super simple pricing. You pay a small fee on each ticket sold if you're running a paid event. If your event is free and you're kind of using it to register free attendees, you pay nothing at all.
Can I ask you, how do you monetize a free event, or is it just for you guys for brand awareness? Is that why?
Yeah, we don't monetize free events.
Yeah.
But I would say one thing that, a lot of people that start running free events will probably, come round to or eventually build up to running paid events. So, there's a long-term strategy there. But, a lot of events on Eventbrite are free and we don't make a penny off that. That's a service that we do, again, to service the long tail of event organisers. It kind of goes back to our mission of bringing the world together through live events. And, we're sort of happy to do that, and the technology is in place to do that. So just to go back to the question, you don't pay anything extra for accessing our backend or our analytics platform. And what that analytics platform will let you do, there's a ton of things, but some of the key things that people really love and use frequently are attendee geography. So you can see where in the world people are registering for your event. So that's really useful. For example, if you've got an international event, you can see what other countries people are registering from. If it's a UK event, you can see regionally where people are coming from. And actually, it's quite nice intelligence, this, if you're ever ambitious and wanting to expand your event. And so let's say you're running an event in London and you notice that there's a lot of attendees starting to come from Manchester or Liverpool. That kind of indicates that obviously there's a demand there for your event up north as well. So maybe you want to launch a second edition of your event up north to service those attendees without making them travel all the way down to London. So that kind of attendee geography is really useful. And it's also really useful during your marketing campaign. So, for example, if you can see, again, that there's one particular geography in the UK or in the world that's doing really well for event ticket sales, then you can focus your marketing budget on that region specifically. So you could tailor your AdWords budget or your Twitter and Facebook paid advertising just to those locations. So then you're not wasting any money and you're going to increase your ROI from that. So that's one element.
That's a really great one. So I think Ian would call that, is it the heat map, the geographical heat map? You can see who is purchasing and where. That's exactly right. Yeah. So that's a really popular feature. Another really popular feature that I've just touched on was the affiliate links. Being able to see which partners have performed really well to drive ticket sales is that's so vital. Even if you're not paying them anything, you're going to spend time working with them. So, if you've built up media partnerships or just friendships or there's influencers that you've asked to share your links, you can actually see whether they're performing for you. You have to go into link by link and kind of put a little, a code, or does it automatically generate the codes for you per person? So yeah, you just really give it a key name. So it might be Amanda Ruiz, and then it creates a link for you. And then I would give you that link. And when I go back into the back end of the system, I can see how many page views have come from your link and how many tickets have been sold from your link. Whether I walk the talk. And whether you walk the talk, exactly. Whether I walk the talk about, brandishing, PR and all the rest of it. So Mel has got a question. Apart from the resources of Google, what else can Eventbrite do to help promote events? I think this is a really important question, because it's all very well, it's really exciting. You prepare your event, you pay for the venue, and you think, oh my God, it's like, setting up a party venue and then nobody comes. How can you get more bums on seats? Yeah, absolutely. So again, we've touched on this as well. So Google, absolutely, we help with that Google search ranking. Again, we touched on this, but the actual Eventbrite platform sees an enormous amount of traffic on a weekly and monthly basis for people coming directly to it, not through Google, to search for experiences and events that they want to attend. So, again, having your event on the platform gets you in front of all of these people who are looking for relevant experiences and events to attend. As I also mentioned already, again, we do integrate with Twitter and Facebook. There's a really great app called Event Bistro that we work with that allows you to sell your event tickets directly on Facebook. We also integrate with a ton of other different promotional apps. So one of the most popular ones is MailChimp. So if you've got an email list or you've already got an audience, you can use MailChimp and sync that directly with Eventbrite. So it makes email marketing very, very easy to do. Okay, so just slow down on that one, because, so I use GetResponse. So you sync them with that, or is it you sync them with many different email platforms? So let's say I want to promote my next event. Do I have to be with MailChimp, or can it be GetResponse? You don't have to. I don't know whether we integrate directly with GetResponse off the top of my head. I know we do with Aweber as well. Or we actually have our own email platform on there. So you can use the kind of free tool that comes with Eventbrite to email up to 2,000 attendees at any one time. So you wouldn't have to use any external email client if you didn't want to, unless you start getting to really large list sizes. This has nothing to do with the Eventbrite audience itself. This is purely my 2,000 names, is it, that I will have fed into Eventbrite? That is your 2,000 names as well. Just clarifying for anybody listening who's unsure like me. and then we also have an editorial team here in the UK that looks out for really interesting events and things that are a bit unique or different to do. And we have email newsletters that go out on a weekly and a monthly basis. We have blog posts again that go out specifically around interesting events to attend. So we plug your blog post, because it's actually a really great site, isn't it? Obviously, because I'm an author. Well, of course, we only take the best, Amanda. Yes, thank you. Have you got a link? You want to stick down there, or I can put a link in?
Yeah. So where do I put this in the message box here?
Yes. Ian said Neon is a great Eventbrite app too. Do you know Neon? I presume you do.
I do. So that's actually not a third-party app. That's our very own app that we developed, and basically that's the on-the-door event management system. So although again all these things are optional, right? You can still do a lot of things with Eventbrite that you may have done traditionally. So you can print off a list of attendees on paper, take them to the registration desk and tick them off by hand if you want. Yeah. But again, we try and make these things a lot easier. So now you can use Neon, and when people turn up to your event, you've got them on. You've got the Neon app open on your mobile. You ask them for their name, or they can print out their ticket, and you can ask for their barcode, and you can scan them off there and then on the Neon app. It's instant. It syncs with the Eventbrite system, even when there's no Wi-Fi. So there's no duplicate tickets, there's no duplicate entries. So it's just a really slick, really simple system, really good way of managing your attendees and keeping the lines short when people.
Just sounds, Mark, that Eventbrite is the place to go for running. No, honestly, it sounds so simple, and I have used it. So Mel is saying she was at an event in London last night, and she thinks she saw them using the Neon app, so it works really well. So that's good to have somebody, second person, bigging up the. There's no props for that. I'm going to open up the seat if anybody wants to pop in with any questions, so we can hear you speaking. Cherie, Mel, Ian, whoever's there listening in. Any questions about events? If not, I'll give you my top tip when you actually are at an event, and that is if you're speaking, make sure that you've got somebody to take photographs of you when you're actually, standing on your platform. Not only of you on your speaking platform, but also of the heads right behind. Then I told somebody else the other day, is if you've got a cameraman videoing or filming your event, you actually have a photograph taken of him filming the heads and you on stage. And that's just like double whammy, social proof that actually you've got a full room, and it's even being recorded for the BBC or whoever. Another tip is actually, once you've delivered your speech or your talk, hi Dan, who's just joined, is to get your iPhone out or your big chunky camera, which is what I tend to use, even though I'm going to go down the iPhone route very soon. And just to say, I'm really glad you enjoyed the, my talk or my workshop. Can you just do me a quick testimonial? So if you go to my website, it's www.amandaruiz.co.uk. I've actually got some live Eventbritees, attendees who had registered via Eventbrite. Let me just find it so I can put it in here. And you can hear all the hustle and the bustle in the background of people saying it. And I think it makes it more authentic as well. So hold on, let me just grab it, testimonials. Here we are. And so if you have a look at these and see what you think about those. I mean, the lighting's not fantastic, but it's just authentic, and it's just not all, it's not all slick. Nothing needs to be slick all the time, does it? So Cherie says, you're going to love, I know. Really great quality video. Well, I know. Ian was just telling me about the iPhone 6. I might have to go down that route, because this is my phone. 90%, that's a joke. I'm only joking. I got a Samsung Galaxy, but it doesn't rock as much as an iPhone does. So has anybody else got any questions? The seat is a joke, Sherry, actually. Joking. We're having a joke on Blab today.
And actually, just talking about technology, one of the latest releases for Eventbrite is you can now use users for the Apple Watch, as well as the Android Watch. So smartwatches you can now use for getting into events and for your event management. So it's available on there as well.
Okay, so should I not bother going down the actual iPhone route? Just get a watch.
Just get a smartwatch. Yeah. Go the full hog.
Okay, I'm going to go for it. Ian, have you enjoyed our talk? Have you learnt anything today, Ian?
Well, it's a bit difficult when I've got one blab going on the computer. I've got you going on the phone.
Me blabbing on.
I've got two blabs going at the same time. Okay. You see, so. But no, I like Eventbrite, and I've had the affiliate code for quite a number of years, and I do pump it out to people. Whether they use the Eventbrite code, I don't know when they click through, because I've never gone in looking at the background analytics to it properly. It's something that I should actually talk more and more about with Eventbrite, to find out how I can promote it more, because as Amanda knows, I'm one for big apps and all different bits and pieces, the new products, and I've got a toolbox where I do say to people, these are the things that you should have. And I'm always constantly promoting Eventbrite as the place to, as I call it, Eventbrite is my diary filler.
Oh, there you go. So you've got a happy customer right here, or happy contact, let's say.
Yeah, it's just that I tell people, look, if you go into an event, why don't you have a look at Eventbrite to see what's going on in and around the event you're going to, because it could fill up some free time. So if you're going to London, for example, see what other events are on, and then see if they can fit in and around the event. I'm just absolutely amazed at the amount of organisations, and this isn't just the small organisations, it's the really, really big organisations that don't use Eventbrite even for free events. Why they don't use it? Because I think it's a brilliant thing. Because as soon as you sign up, you've got everything in place. And if I can just quickly find it, as it just quickly loads on my other phone.
He's got two phones.
Yeah. Oh, they've updated it because I've lost my picture, but don't know whether you can see that now. But there, you've got like your events app.
Mm-hmm. Is this Neon? Is this Neon you were talking about earlier?
No, this is just the Eventbrite app, where it's actually got in here sort of like all the different events and what you booked into and that. So it comes through, turn up to the event, just pull out the Eventbrite app, show them the ticket, job done.
Actually, Ian, Mark, question is, you're on analytics. It's really interesting. Is it, what's the most popular device used? Is it mobile like Ian, or is it PC, laptop, iPad? Do you have that analytics, or does it go that deep?
We don't actually go into that depth, I don't believe, in terms of what platform's being used to book onto the event. But we do integrate with Google Analytics. Again, so you can sync your back end with Eventbrite with Google Analytics, which does have that kind of technology. So you can ultimately get to that intelligence. It's just not 100% baked into the back end of the Eventbrite Analytics.
Okay. Right. Well, we're only scheduled to have a 30-minute Eventbrite chat, and I know you have to get off for a meeting. Would anybody else like to ask any other questions about running an event, setting up an event? Having me used it personally, like I said, the 24/7 for Eventbrite, the help desk is amazing. My last question is, is there a kind of an optimal amount of text or copy that you should put? When it's the about the speaker, about the event, should it be bullet points? Because when I teach people about how to write a press release, it's just, because the journalists are so busy, they get about 1,000 emails per day. They just want to have 3 bullet points and then maybe a bit more text underneath. So is it similar? What do you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those lame answers where I just say it depends. It depends how much you have to say. It depends on your audience. I personally, because I've got a bit of a copywriting background, like I err on the side of long copy. I think long copy sells. Ogilvy himself kind of always said that long copy sold better than anything else because it infers the fact that you've got something to say. So I would generally err on the side of longer rather than shorter. But, again, people use Eventbrite in all sorts of different ways. So some people just use us as their ticketing platform and they've got their own separate website. So they might just put a short description and then invite people to their website to see the rest of the details of the event. Others kind of use us completely as their website, hook, line and sinker. And so you want to have more information on there. It does depend, but I guess if I had to go with one answer, it would be I would err on the side of being more descriptive and offering more rather than less.
You have actually just done a blog post about that, I think, in LinkedIn, didn't you, about, the long copy sales. I personally don't like long copy because I just haven't got the time. It's like, oh my God, because Ian keeps telling me about all these new things I need to learn about, Keefe, weave, and blah, blah, all these things. So, but that's just me. But I think what you're saying is having long copy adds to your kudos and credibility. Is that right?
It can do, but as I said, it's not always right. Sometimes short and simple wins the day. So I think you've got to take a judgment call yourself on that one.
Well, that's where Medium comes in, because Medium's a very short reading platform, and it's really good for getting quick, easy messages across. So that's where I love Medium.
Good. Okay, I need to look onto that as well. So Ian's the king of all things new and modern. We've got 2 questions and then we'll have to close off. So Sherry, I presume we're in the US, Sherry. Do you recommend any reps in the USA to contact for Eventbrite?
Any reps, so as in business development? So you'd be interested in learning more about the platform, I guess? In which case...
Yeah.
In which case, I'll tweet out a link from Eventbrite UK for how to get in touch with the sales or the business development team in the US. If it's customer support, then there's another link. So it'd be good to know which is which. Okay. And then the other question is, during an event, how important would you say it is to continue being active on social media? Very important, I think, is the short and simple answer to this. So you may well have heard this, you may hate it, you may love it, this phrase FOMO, which is fear of missing out. Being active on social media during an event is key to building this idea of FOMO and fear of missing out, which essentially means other people will see what's going on at your event. They'll realize that they are missing out and they'll want to attend your next one. So by being active on social media, you're really spreading the message of how great your event is. And so it will build up over time and build momentum. So I would say it's crucial to be active on social media during your event.
And then also just, that was quite funny, you said FOMO, so I thought, I haven't told many people, I haven't told my little bird about it, so I've just tweeted, so people are going to think, oh my God, I've just missed. So that's what, and another thing is to have a hashtag and to try and get that going viral when you're actually in your event. And, like I said before, I don't know whether you can do a hashtag when you cut down, customize your link for your actual event, but I have one called I am #visible. As you can see, that's it. Whatever I do now, I'm just going to use that hashtag. So I'm going to own it. But when people are actually at the event, you say thank you if you're enjoying this, as you're enjoying it, any amazing things, or the speakers have said, please tweet it out using the hashtag #visible. So yes, I would definitely recommend doing that.
Yeah, and just to Mel's last point here, in terms of it's a debate that you're having with fellow organizers, I don't think it should be an either or. So one of the key things with social media, sometimes it's about being in the moment. So let me try and structure this correctly. So if you plan ahead of time your social media strategy for your event, it means you should be able to focus on the event and also have social media activity that's going out. So you can use, social media management platforms like Hootsuite or Buffer to schedule tweets and schedule posts to Facebook, etc., ahead of the event. So when you're at the event, you can just focus on running it and managing it effectively. And then the second thing I would say about it is that you want to enable and encourage attendees to be active on social media on your behalf. So it's not you having to do it all. And that's where having a great hashtag, as Amanda said, comes in. So have a hashtag, encourage people to share their shareable moments at the event, encourage speakers to include it on their slides, maybe have some sort of display with a hashtag around the event. You can have it posted up on posters and signage. And encourage your attendees to be the ones that are using social media. So it's not all you, and you can focus on running the event.
And also, I said it yesterday, but I'll repeat it again. But if you look at my Twitter big profile picture, that was actually at an event when somebody photographed me giving a talk. So, he just tweeted out saying, learn some amazing tips on how to get into the press. So that was really great. So also encourage them, Mel, to take photographs during the event. So it just shows that there's loads of bums on seats, loads of people learning, and that all the FOMO thing keeps on going and going. Okay?
Can I ask one quick question to Eventbrite? Are you okay with people using it a lot for free events?
Yes. So as we touched on this right at the beginning, actually the majority of events on Eventbrite are free. So we're absolutely fine with that. It's part of our business, it's kind of baked into the business model. And, as I kind of touched on earlier on, it's very much part of our mission that we want to, create these great live experiences, encourage people to find them. And if that means having free events and people use our technology for free events, then that's absolutely great as well.
Because whilst I know that you can actually tweet out and get people to subscribe to like a blab like this, is it something that you've thought about? Or I think Amanda and myself touched on this in a previous blab about using Eventbrite to host blabs.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, we started on that topic. So you could use Eventbrite to register people for your blab. It would be a very new use, but why not? Why not try these things and see how it works? And certainly people do.
Juice, the SEO juice, isn't it? Helping
exactly, and people do use us for webinars. So it seems like a natural extension of that.
Brilliant. Well, any other questions? Then we'll close it off. I think it's been really interesting. I'm so glad I recorded it because I might have to come back and listen to all the hints and tips again.
Well, thanks very much for inviting me, Amanda. It's been a good first experience on Blab.
Excellent. We'll hopefully do another one very soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you afterwards, Amanda?
Sorry?
Can you connect me through to Eventbrite afterwards?
Yeah, you mean to Mark?
Yeah.
Head of Content. What's your title, Mark? Just so we remember.
Yeah, head of Content Marketing at Eventbrite UK.
And he's a lovely man. He's a new daddy. He's got how many weeks old is your second baby, daughter?
I am. Our second daughter is 5 weeks old.
Yeah. So many congratulations to you there.
Thank you very much. If I look a bit tired, that is why.
You look good.
What's your surname, Mark? And I'll connect with you on LinkedIn now.
It's Walker, Mark Walker. And if you wanted to connect with me on Twitter, then it's JFDI Mark.
Mark, is that my favourite expression? Somebody asked me once when I was being interviewed, and they said, what is it? And I said, I can't swear, but I'm just going to say it, JFDI. So it's your imagination. So yeah, love it. JFDI, man. Okay. So I'm now going to cross all the boxes, which I think will mean we're going to finish. I'm going to stop recording now. So thank you very much today for listening to Mark Walker from Eventbrite. And we've had Ian in a hot seat as well. So thank you.